Okay, this is Black Light, and last video we were talking about the Caucasoid versus the original man. By now we're trying to get you to see, using different languages, that you got synthetic versus organic, or uh, the devil versus the original man, or the Caucasian, all meaning the same thing. The Matrix meaning that you're living in a synthetic world, real versus unreal, natural versus unnatural. And when you're talking about technology, you're talking about synthetic technology versus organic technology or original technology. And the reason why we're getting murdered, the black man is being held down, held back. Every time he gets to a certain level, he gets pushed back down or killed or murdered or whatever, go to jail, whatever, and he's back where he started from, or even worse, in a worse shape than where he started from. And the reasons being is because the real man versus the kind of man. The kind of man, out of necessity, if you want to stay on the planet, must try to control and rule the real man or the original man. And a lot of people don't agree with this, especially a lot of black people, because they are blinded by fortune and fame, what they perceive to be fortune and fame, uh, materialistical gain, and that fake dollar. In the meanwhile, while the black man is being transformed, his mental capacity or his mental state is being transformed into that of the Caucasoid. The Caucasoid is transforming himself with the actual substance so he can stay on the planet, the actual organic substance like melanin, you know, that he gets from the melanated man or the black man. And he got us confused. And he's also in a war with us, mentally, physically, spiritually, on all levels. And he takes what's real, weaponizes it, uses against you, misuses it against the real ones. And so recently you had the unfortunate murder by Tatiana Jefferson. And black people, you know, they getting up in an uproar. Before that, you had the trial of Amber Geiger against Botham Jean. And people was in an uproar about that. But don't nobody want to ever admit that we don't belong in this system. We're in a war against. We try to get along with our natural enemy. So it's my job to point out where don't feel bad uh, for the Caucasian. Don't feel bad for the Caucasian. Don't feel bad for him at all, because he don't feel bad for you. I know he pretends like he does. Now the ignorant Caucasian, he don't feel like the rest of the intellectual Caucasians feel when it comes to the black man. He don't feel like that. You know, he don't have that type of training. He's on the lower class or lower level. But we talking about the elite Caucasians. They know what time it is. And they know that they got to try to at least control us. If they can't destroy us completely, they got to try to control our minds while they uh, implant themselves with the original material and try to fuse technology into themselves so they could be on the planet and continue to rule and control us. And that's what that last video was about. If you haven't seen it, go back and see it. My last video. And we entitled that the Caucasians versus the original man. I was kind of polite about that. I would have said the devil versus Allah. That upset a whole lot of people. Now, Master Farad Muhammad, he came in 1930, right after the Depression, July the 4th. And he brought this book, Supreme Wisdom, with him. And in the Supreme Wisdom book, he was talking to Elijah, teaching Elijah, schooling Elijah. And he said, he asked a question to Elijah, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He said, who is the original man? Then he asked, who is the colored man? And then Elijah answers, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. The colored man is the Caucasian white man, or Yakub grafted devil, the skunk of the planet. So, in other words, the synthetic man, or mankind, or kind of a man, but not the original man. The original man is a direct descendant from the Creator, and we had to write script about it, put it in scripture, and put it in holy scribes, for future generations. And we kind of coded it a little bit, and to keep it on a different spiritual level, because the Caucasian ain't stupid now. He's an intellectual being. He's grafted from us, but he doesn't have what we got in us. So he's the Antichrist, meaning he's fighting nature all the time. It's like man versus nature. He says it himself. Instead of blending in with nature or being a part of nature, he's against what's natural. Nature meaning what's natural. And because he's not natural. And so we're in a war. So he's losing control of himself and his empire. He's playing himself to the point where he's in a desperate mode right now. Now's a good time for us to come together and get control. We got to abolish this system because it's synthetic, and build up a natural system for ourselves. This is Black Light saying stay tuned.